Okay, now we're going to take a look at how to properly install the new needle roller pilot bearing, flywheel, clutch assembly, and then onto the bell housing. First things first, we're going to talk about how to take out the old pilot bearing, which is a question that we get quite a bit. We're going to use a special tool that we found, a company called Springer Tool. You can find this tool at www.springertool.com. Is a pilot bearing removal tool. There's other methods to remove pilot bearings that you can employ as well, but this tool works pretty well. So you basically just take the tool without the threaded rod installed, you insert it in, and you allow the hooks to catch behind the back of the bearing, and then you go ahead and you tighten down the threaded rod until it hits the back of the crank there. With the pilot bearing removal tool set up for pilot bearing removal, you go ahead and take your 9/16" socket and you simply start tightening it down. Okay, as I turn it, you can start to see it pull the pilot bearing, or in this case, pilot bushing. There you go. It's as easy as that. The next step is to install the new needle roller pilot bearing. You'll notice that the bearing has two different sides to it. This is the unsealed side, and this is the sealed side. You want to install it with the sealed side facing towards the transmission. Before we install it, I just want to take a look at, have you take a look at one other bearing that we use. This larger diameter roller pilot bearing is for use when installing an LS motor and a TKO transmission and using a stock bell housing or a McLeod scatter shield. This larger bearing sits out further in the crank in the LS block to properly engage the input shaft. So just keep that in mind if you're using an LS motor and a TKO transmission. You want to make sure you have this larger diameter roller pilot bearing. To install the roller pilot bearing into the stock small block, basically what you want to do is you want to grab a socket that's similar in size. I've grabbed a 3/4 inch socket, and we're going to use that to drive this bearing into place. It's going to be a tight fit, but this is how you go ahead and do it. It's going to take a little bit of swinging with the hammer. Now you can see the roller pilot bearing fully installed. It's fully installed once the surface of the bearing is flush with the edge of the crank there.